We are green. Boy, it's been a long time coming, but as you would expect, J-Mac jumps into turn one in the lead. He's got 25 to run as they get it on in turn two. Dumsney climbs over the tail of Sutherland. Rankin in the 47, a little out of shape. They stay green. Rankin rejoins in turn four. J-Mac's your leader from Mills. That's second. Third is Quinton Tanner, the R&R Contracting 22. Brett Milburn is fourth. Fifth is Darren Hickman. Sixth is Ronnie Dalton. Boy, hot battle for seventh. Tim Rankin calls it a day as he rolls through on the infield. MVP under supreme pressure from Stephen Bell. Bell now up onto the tail of Ronnie Dalton. Trevor Green is marching through the field. Tim Rankin with Dumsney trying the outside on him. Oh, upside down, is it Bell? J-Mac, your leader with nowhere to go. Cannons into him. Jackpot Invitational. Still to come, our 25-lap B qualifier. Oh, look at that front wing on J-Mac. It just flops right back over the bonnet. He was sporting some chassis damage on the right front corner. That torsion bar, you could almost see it through the tube where it's torn the front wing mount off. And he has got his hands full. He maintains the lead, however. Peter Milnes closing on him. Yellow lights on. Creator of the widget has just been sold out. McFadden. Peter Milnes, the local from here in Geelong. On his tail in second. Quinton Tanner. Milburn with a big push allows Darren Hickman through to fourth. Here comes Ronnie Dalton. Picks him off for fifth. Milburn back to sixth. Seventh in that final transfer spot is Trevor Green from position number 13. Boy, Darren Hickman is hooked up. We saw wife Sandy draw the starting position, which, let's be honest, wasn't great. But he is marching forward. He's up to position number 3. She's obviously very good at turning the spanners. And Darren is doing a wonderful job, driving his way into third and looking to challenge now for second. Moves past Peter Milnes. Boy, that mobile back number 40 car out of Bendigo is on a rail. He's caught our race leader, Darren Hickman, looking to go on a giant killing run. Quinton Tanner had a peek on the inside of Milnes for third. Look further back to fifth and Ronnie Dalton. Sixth is Trevor Green. Seventh and final transfer position is Brett Milburn. Max Dumsney is right on his tail. Max still with a lengthy 16 laps to reel him in. Couple of car lengths currently between him and a transfer directly to our semi-final. Carl Ludeman, Mike Van Bremen watching on. Hickman now off turn 4, picks up the lead. J-Mac is limping. He's got 15 laps. He's been bumped to second. Hickman, take nothing away from him. He is on a tear. Peter Milnes now picks up second. J-Mac with that front wing back, folding across the bonnet. Damage on the right front torsion tube. And they are coming after him. Just needs to finish 7th. Max Dumsney got a push. Look at him, lost 2 or 3 positions. Oh, Max lost a bunch of spots. Darren Hickman's your leader from Peter Milnes. Still J-Mac. 4th is Trevor Green from position 13. Quinton Tanner, Ronnie Dalton, and Carl Ludeman. Ludo in that 7th and final transfer spot. Milburn and Dumsney outside looking in. Van Bremen rounds out the field. So Milburn and Max still with 10 to run. They've got some work to do. Only a couple of car lengths as Dumsney scoots through on Milburn. Max up to 8. He's got to get it done. He's just sizing up Ludo. Still your race leader is Darren Hickman. Peter Mills in second. Trevor Green in third. Fourth is McFadden. And desperate to hang on, here comes Max for that 7th position. Carl Ludeman gives himself a little more insurance. He's up to 6th. Gee, Max gets a terrible push and allows Milburn back through. Thoroughly entertaining as Dumsney goes to work on Milburn again. Ronnie Dalton might upstage the pair of them. Oh, and he slips out of the groove, allows Milburn through. Hickman maintains the lead over Peter Mills. 3rd is Trevor Green. 4th is McFadden. 5th is Tanner. 6th is Ludeman. 7th and final transfer spot is Milburn. Then it's Dalton and Dumsney. Max forcing the issue now gets by to 8. He's got 4 laps to reel him in and picks up another push. Trevor Green through to 2nd as Hickman's got the fire gone out. Peter Mills is your new race leader. You talk about some dramatic stuff. 3 laps to run. We've got a new race leader, Hickman and Trevor Green running 2nd and 3rd. 4th is McFadden. Oh, there's a... Milburn's out of the event. Tanner is 5th. 6th is Ludeman. 7th is Ronnie Dalton. And Dumsney, well, he's got to get it done. Max Dumsney right on the tail of Ronnie Dalton. Can he make a move? The white flag is out for your race leader, Peter Mills. J-Mac still maintains 4th. Here comes Dumsney. Gets that 7th and final position. Boy, oh, and he's going to cough it up in turn number 2. Max gives it back to Ronnie Dalton. Checkers around. Dalton in 7th, Dumsney in 8th. We are green. Oh, Domain gets into Nick Lacey. Robbie Farr squeezes through as Domain cops damage to the front end on the Essendon Ford, number 20. Yellow lights on. To do it one more time. 25 laps on the board. Dennis Jones out of Gippsland to Victoria. Murcott trying to run the top. Oh, Saville as Murcott tags him. Well, if the door had stayed open, he was going to look like a hero. Unfortunately, it stopped as Balcom is around. How nobody clouded him, I'll never know. Dennis Jones, your race leader. Chris Lacey, Danny Pesca running 2nd and 3rd. Nick Lacey, Johnny Vogel's on the outside of Nick Lacey. Good move from the Simpson veteran. Then it's Robbie Farr. So Farry in 6th, Michael Cunningham. Pickles in the PRP Engineering, number 74 in 7th. Outside looking in is Lindsay, as is Murcott, who's back on the horse. Phillips, Saville, Jack Lee, Brendan Balcom, as Michael Phillips may have encountered some problems in the 57. Gee, the pace is hot out in front. Dennis Jones trying to run like the proverbial cut cat. Phillips pulls infield. 2nd is Chris Lacey, followed by Danny Pesca, Johnny Vogels, Nick Lacey, Robbie Farr. How hot is that battle for the 7th and final transfer? Lindsay with Murcott on his tail. They're trying to run down and pass Michael Cunningham. Cunningham runs a nice line. Still plenty of racing remaining. Your leaders on the main straightaway. The DJE CNC Machining, number 17. Dennis Jones is your race leader. All eyes on that 74 car in that 7th position. Lindsay and Murcott are astern, and they are just going after him. Applying the pressure to Cunningham. How will he stand up? Here comes Lines now in turn 1. Cunningham shuts the door. Lindsay works the bottom. Murcott's right there in striking distance as well. Jones, Chris Lacey, followed by Nick Lacey. Johnny Vogel's in the 70. Then it's Robbie Farr, Danny Pesca. Lindsay now up into that 7th and final transfer. Boy, Murcott, hasn't he got his hands full? The main line, Dynalog Dynamometers, number 83 for Horrell Motorsports, is quickly losing grip as Stephen Lyons is powering after Danny Pesca. Well, he's got almost a third of a lap now as Cunningham and Murcott and Jack Lee, if they're to advance into the top 7. 12 laps to run. Johnny V got in hot there on the inside of Nick Lacey, allows Robbie Farr through. Farry with a little more insurance as Danny Pesca. Boy, he may be tightening up as this track gets a little quicker. Now slips back to that 7th position. First is Dennis Jones, second Chris Lacey. Nick Lacey is third. Not for long as Robbie Farr gets through. Lacey now 4th. 5th is Lines. 6th is Vogel. 7th is Danny Pesca. 8th, outside looking in, Michael Cunningham. Murcott is 9th. Jack Lee, Glenn Saville, and Brendan Malcolm round out the field as Lindsay is on a mission. Oh, Pesca gives up 7th. Cunningham drives back by. I thought a couple of laps ago Danny Pesca looked a little tight, and he gives up another spot to Murcott. No, he doesn't, as they drag race down into turn 1. Pesca holds sway. Boy, Murcott was on the tail tank as the front wheels were dancing. Brilliant stuff. Mind you, they're both outside looking in as Cunningham rockets back into a transfer. Even Saville gets up on 2 wheels. Track getting quicker. Still Jones. Smooth sailing out in front for Dennis. Chris Lacey rock solid in 2nd. 3rd is Robbie Farr. 4th is Lines. From position 14, if you don't mind. Brilliant drive. Nick Lacey, Johnny Vogels, Michael Cunningham, who's got 4 laps to hang on as Murcott is after him. Danny Pesca outside now, as is Jack Lee and Glenn Saville. All eyes on 7th, it's David Murcott. Oh, as Cunningham gets by Vogels. Now Vogels in the box seat as Murcott shoots through. Murcott with the wheels in the air gets that 7th and final transfer. Unbelievable. With 2 laps to run, Jack Lee now pressuring Vogels, who slips out of a transfer. White flag in the ready for the 17. Dennis Jones may be tightening up too. Chris Lacey, your race leader in the 16. Got by Jones, Farr in 3rd, Lines in 4th. Lacey takes the win. Great drive. Jones advances, as does Farr and Lines. Going to go a long way back to 5th. It's Nick Lacey. 6th is David Murcott. 7th and final transfer is Michael Cunningham. Great drive for that envelope that had Ray Nipper-Lacey on it. Drew you on the front row. You did everything else, man. Perfect. Well done.
Oh, that was an omen. It just, when the car's nice, you just sit it and put your foot down, and it's
information coming through. V8 Dirt Modified, Trevor Perry, Mick Corelli, Steve Milthorpe, Dave Rickett, George Napier, Daniel Timberlake, and Dave May, all in the nominated drivers here for the V8 Dirt Modified. It's great to have them on board. Garden City Auto Wreckers doing it. Daniel Timberlake in the 78. Gee, just a little slick. We did have that shower come through. Milthorpe into 2nd. Oh, just trying to work the high side. Millthorpe down underneath and almost coughed up a place. Darren May. Trevor Perry, the All Black, chasing down. Huge understeer. And off the track, that might be the end of the tear-offs. I think that was the request earlier. I'm out. It's done. Sick of using my glove. Can't see. Done. Daniel Timberlake looks good though. Oh, another little push there. Steve Millthorpe's correcting in 3 and 4. Dave May just trying that top side. See if he's got some friends up there in contact with Trevor Perry on the exit to 2. They'll just reset and chug off again. Timberlake though, just steering with the back end beautifully out of 3 and 4. Having a nice little flex just in front of the grandstand. Just to turn it on, little push there. On the Millthorpe car in 3 and 4. Challenging down the back straight. See if he's got something on the outside. No, just sits behind at this stage. Timberlake just holding him off. Now comes the outside run. Oh, he's got it. How's the steer? Can he pull it through? Yeah, good stuff. Nice correction. Millthorpe wants to open it up now. Oh, challenge. May. As that white flag is out. Great to have the V8 dirt modifieds here. Great support class. Fantastic race earlier this year. And it was good to have him. Steve Millthorpe will take this out. Oh, big contact. Wow, May not looking good there at all. Timberlake for second.
We're wearing them down here at Avalon Raceway. Look at Danny Pesker, quickly to the outside of Johnny Vogels. He's into that 4th and final transfer as the yellows blink on. Vogels desperate to keep it running, and he does. Good communication going on from the stewards. Well, between the stewards, I should say. We go green. Johnny Vogels just caught the right rear of Max. No harm, no foul. We stay green. Van Bremen slips out of a transfer. MVP upside down. Just tagged the right rear of the 75. Off turn 4 they come. Into 1. Again, Jack Lee gets a great start. Tim Van Ginnigan slips out of the groove, lets a couple through. Danny Pesker quickly onto the tail of Johnny Vogels. That's 3rd and 4th. Oh, a couple of drivers get a really heavy push up in turn 3. Pesker in 4th, Johnny Vogels in 3rd, Dumsney in 2nd, but your race leader is the general, Jack Lee. Oh, Van Ginnigan will bring the yellows on in turn number 2. Tim Van Ginnigan inverts. Jack Lee to lead off Max Dumsney. Vogels and Pesker. Everybody through 1 and 2. Glenn Saville just hikes the left front on the New South Wales 75. Danny Pesker in that 4th and final transfer spot. He'll be hard pressed for Glenn Sutherland. He'll have to hope for a mistake. That racing groove gets ever quicker with each and every circulation as Jack Lee is starting to show. As he loses Dumsney. Glenn Saville calls it a day. His night is done. Jack's got almost the main straightaway over Max. 3rd is Johnny Vogels. Then it's Danny Pesker in 4th. back to Glenn Sutherland in the 20. Brendan Belcom, Michael Phillips, Tim Van Ginnigan. So who will catch the general with 15 to run? Maybe traffic is the only hope for Dumsney. As Jack starts to move up onto the tail of Tim Van Ginnigan. Just ahead of Van Ginnigan is Michael Phillips. Johnny Vogel's got a little push in the middle of 1 and 2. He's in third. A little gap back to fourth place, Danny Pesca, who's got maybe half the straightaway over fifth place, and his nearest challenger, Glenn Sutherland. Field is evenly stretched now as Van Ginnigan will go a lap down to Jack Lee. As we alluded to earlier, Jack now with some US experience, courtesy of Danny Smith earlier this season. Gets by Van Ginnigan, Max looking to do likewise. Both drivers well and truly locked into our semi-finals should they finish in first and second. We're halfway home, 10 to run for the general. Dumsney knows that he's locked into a transfer, doesn't want to cough up the spot as he's right on the tail of Tim Van Ginnigan. Vogel's in third, Danny Pesca in fourth, and it is all smooth sailing for that top four. Glenn Sutherland, the nearest challenger, almost a straightaway in arrears. Oh, Jack Lee got in deep on Michael Phillips. He's running. Of course, has no idea that he's got a quarter of a lap lead, and he is charging through the back markers. Almost got together with Phillips. You can see Vogel's fighting that push, just adjusting the driving style to compensate for a tight race car. Oh, Dumsney also had a moment with Phillips. Gets by. Vogel's with Pesca now, closing Sutherland, still watching on. Jack Lee is motoring. 5 to run here in the last chance qualifier as he moves up behind Belcom. Oh, Pesca! High sides the 27 and it drove him straight into the concrete nose first. Back to green flag racing. 5 to run. Jack Lee, Max Dumsney, Johnny Vogel's, Glenn Sutherland now. The beneficiary of Danny Pesca's misfortune up into that fourth and final transfer spot. Belcom and Tim Van Ginnigan trying to run the wheels off it to make it into that top four. Gee, Jack Lee showing some great car speed. Dumsney back up on the wheel now in the final 3 laps. Look at that Valvoline 5 run. Some vintage Dumsney as he is on the loud pedal. Look at the gap he's put over third place, Johnny Vogel's. Dumsney on the march. Maybe not a bad thing to get some further laps here in the last chance qualifier as the white flag is out. 1 to run for Jack Lee. Jack will take the win, but boy, Dumsney sounding a clear warning how quick this track is. They cross the line, first and second. Third will be Johnny Vogel's. And Glenn Sutherland will advance the Gem Group South Australia 20.
Green flag away here, the V8 Dirt Modifieds cranking it out. Good to have him here as our support class at Avalon Raceway. Good turn of speed too. Nice to have these guys here. Big push, and that's going to open up that front 3. I'll tell you what, Steve Milthorpe doesn't mind a bit of speed. He is absolutely all over it. Good battle back further as well. Trevor Perry involved with all things, and Dave Rickett. Oh, a little bit of contact on 3 and 4. Gee, and they're battling out for 5th and 6th too, and it's on. That's very nice. And just having another little touch to say, g'day, how you going? Gee, you can watch the front of the field, but that's fantastic. Maybe half a lap off speed, but absolutely involved, which is great to see. Still working through. Just stretching out. Oh, outside move. Oh, how's the cushion? Oh, beautiful pass. Trevor Perry winding up the All Black. Just wonderful stuff. Oh, big dive on the outside. Steve Milthorpe backing it into 1 and 2. Just getting around a bit of lap traffic. Dave May on the chase. Looks very nice. Mick Kilray, the 48. Oh, nice little dive underneath. 78, Daniel Timberlake. Took out a second in the previous. In the mix, that's your top 4. Gee, we talked about sheep stations being played for, and Trevor Perry's just wound it up and turned it on. Oh, little moment for the 13 of Dave Rickett, who was on speed early. As white flags on show. Heat 2. And we'll come up for the flag. Oh, little touch. It's off the corner. Milthorpe looks good for the first.
Semi-final. Here we go. Oh, Dumsney clips Murcott. Ronnie Dalton gets into Max. That's deep in the pack. Peter Milnes leads. 20 laps to run, top 12. That's where it's at. Milnes, Hickman, Chris Lacey. Back to McFadden, Dennis Jones, Robbie Farr. The 3 of Stephen Lyons. He gets by Robbie Farr and Dennis Jones. Back to Tanner. Look at Murcott rim riding around Carl Ludeman. Oh, Johnny Vogel's looking to press the action. Michael Cunningham in that 12th position. Oh, he and Jack Lee get together. Cunningham trying to shut the door, and the General, well, he reopened it in no uncertain terms. Look at Max trying to get by Sutherland. Vogel's looking to do likewise on Cunningham. The top half dozen really locked in. Milnes, your leader. From Darren Hickman, Chris Lacey, back to J-Mac. Robbie Farr, Lyons, Dennis Jones, Tanner, Murcott, Nick Lacey, Carl Ludeman, and the General, Jack Lee. Oh, Max pushes wide, allows Cunningham through. Next in line, Ronnie Dalton with the front wing is smashed across the high bars for Ron Dalton. Milnes gets by. Next time by, there'll be 12 to run. You've got to watch deep in the field where Jack Lee is for that 12th position. Milnes gets by Max. No question, Max suffering courtesy of that incident in turn number 1, and Max is gone. Maybe a right rear. I would say a shock. But Max is limping as the field motors by. Ron Dalton also comes in. Milnes still your leader. From Darren Hickman, Chris Lacey, McFadden, Farr, Lyons. Then Dennis Jones, Quinton Tanner, Murcott, Nick Lacey, Carl Ludeman. Max is infield. Behind Ludo is Jack Lee. And then the race is on. Gee, Sutherland really closing now on Jack Lee. So's Johnny Vogels. That's position 13 and 14. They need to get by Jack Lee to advance to the pole shootout. There's only 8 to run. Here comes your leader on the main straightaway. Peter Milnes from Darren Hickman. Boy, haven't they been the quiet achievers along with Chris Lacey tonight. A superb performance from those three. Then it's Robbie Farr. Stephen Lyons in the WA3. Dennis Jones. And James McFadden in the 25 car. Then it's Murcott right on his tail. Tanner, Nick Lacey, Ludeman. Jack Lee remains in that 12th and final transfer spot. Sutherland 1 spot shy. Johnny Vogels, well, he's 2 spots shy. There's 5 to run. Jack just looking for a little insurance, trying to get by Ludeman. G. McFadden has got the field backed up. J. Max struggling with the handling on the 25. Desperate to stay inside the top 12. Jack got by Ludeman. Now that puts Ludeman, as J. Mac gets spun. J. Mac, a little contact between he and Nick Lacey in the 20C final with 3 to run. Peter Mills, Darren Hickman, Robbie Farr in 3rd. Stephen Lyons back to Nick Lacey. Dennis Jones, look at Murcott. Quinton Tanner, Nick Lacey. Jack Lee, the general, as far he slips out of the groove in turn 4, allows Lyons to have a look. Look at Sutherland. This is what I was talking about. It's time to get it on. Oh, Vogels and Sutherland. The KFC number 14 of Carl Ludeman also stranded, red lights on, as Johnny V upside down in turn number 2.
Cake. And yeah, again, thanks to Essendon Ford and Avalon for putting that up.
When we presented the car to you, we talked a little bit in depth about your American plans. It seemed like just days after that, they unravelled when the transporter deal fell through.
Award at the Avalon Raceway. Green flag drops, the V8s crank up. It'll be a short sprint. They'll be into each other from the start. Gee, Dave May pulled a 4th and a 2nd in the heats. Jumps on it early, may have saved something for the final. Steve Milthorpe on the chase. Daniel Timberlake locks in for 3rd. Trevor Perry lost a few places, back into 5th. Got some work to do and work in the high side. See what he can stir up there. Mick Kilray is in 4th and having a challenge for 3rd. Start to spread out just a little bit now. Dave Rickett rounding out the field. George Napier in the 43. Some nice speed with the V8 dirt modifieds. They hoik that inside left up. There's some real attitude when you see this. Seems to be the new look on the V8 dirt modifieds. Get that left right in the air. Been some discussion. Steve Milthorpe, one of those that says he can keep it down. And Dave May in the 3 car. We'll pick it right up on the cone now to see how he goes. Lap time's coming good. And halfway through the main feature for these guys. Cone to cone will go. Gee, doing mid-15s. Some good times there. Spreading out. And a bit more challenge back through the field. 43. George Napier might get lapped with 7 remaining. Dave May. Steve Milthorpe with a 1, 1 and 3. Up underneath Dave May, very nice move. Napier 1 down now. The officials working overtime upstairs. All over it. Oh, just a little rub as we go past. Daniel Timberlake in for 3rd with our lap car in the middle. Now just bunch up on 3 and 4. Just to get around. Mick Corelli. Trevor Perry coming on. Oh, a bit of a moment, unfortunately. Dave Rickett not having much of a run in the 13 at the moment. 15.1's just coming through, so some nice fast times. It'll give you an idea of what our sprint car drivers are going to face on the track. You really get a look at the attitude. 14.5 just coming in under 15s at the moment. 2 laps remaining. That white flag is on show. Dave May looking to take this out. He's led it from the start. I've broken Gavin's pen. Will not be happy with that. Dave May takes the checkers, ladies and gentlemen. Great drive by him. Steve Milthorpe in for 2. Daniel Timberland in for the 3. Mark Hope. You'll see street stocks, the super sedans, the big cars, and of course the big one we're looking for in January for those guys is the K-Rock Cup, the K-Rock as it's known. Some exciting news there, and already there's some interstate drivers locked in for that. 3 and 4, put your hands together. Dave May turned it on.
Go, the pole shootout for the Jackpot Invitational. And Michael Cunningham is green. He'll set the first time. That will be the benchmark. Got a little deep in turn number 3. It's a 12.609. He got a little deep in 3, had to roll off the throttle, and ultimately could be costly. The Gem Group, South Australia 20 of Glenn Sutherland. Next car on the track. The Big Mount Gambier. Turn 4 to the main straight. 13.345. He's second quick. I'm sure he'll be disappointed with the end result as the V25 of the General Jack Lee is on track. What a performance from this kid. He was a wild card entry. He's on the hammer through 3 and 4 back to the main straight. Quick time. 12.525, and that locks him in. Quick time. Second is Michael Cunningham. Third is Glenn Sutherland. Jack Lee will be a part of our top 10. Great result. Next car out for Oxygen Marketing and Look 3D Eyewear. The V26 of Nick Lacey. Nick to the main straight. Goes second quick. 12.602. He too will lock himself into our top 10. For R&R Contracting, this is Quinton Tanner, another wild card here tonight. Tanner rolls off in turn 3, gets back on it off turn 4. He's fourth quick, 13.010. That ensures Michael Cunningham is in the show. Next car out for Horrell Motorsports, the Q83 of David Murcott. Murcott breathes it in turn 4. How costly? Not so. 11.884. He's quick time. 7/10 quicker than Jack Lee. Murcott is locked in. What a lap time. Next car out, the V17. Dennis Jones from Hazelwood North in Gippsland. Works back to the main straight. And he's second quick. 12.389. Dennis Jones is second quick. So Murcott, your pole sitter thus far. Next car out, the Victoria 16 of Chris Lacey. Another wild card who's performed exceptionally well. All comes down to one lap. And he's fourth quick outside of the second row with a 12.593 for Chris Lacey. Now we're about to see what the track will hold for Hall's Haulage and Bridgestone. The WA3 of Stephen Lines. The Easter Trail round winner. Qualifying for the show. Off the main straight, and he is second quick. Front row for Linesy, 12.057. Murcott still quick time. Next car out for High Tech Oils. Winner of the President's Cup. This is the Q7 of Robbie Farr. Off turn 4. It's been a big lap and he's quick time. Pole position for Robbie Farr. Murcott second quick. Next car out. Second last qualifier and he gets it out of shape in turn 2. Darren Hickman, the Victoria 40. It was costly in turn 2. Look at the front wheels off and he's 10th quick. He's in danger of missing the show. Last man standing, Geelong's very own Peter Milnes. He won the semi-final, the Victoria 51. Trying to qualify his way in. Off turn 4. He's 9th quick and in the show. Position number 6. Driving the Victoria 25 for Lily's Lane Quarries. Can I get a round of applause for the General Jack Lee? Go for the Jackpot Invitational, 10K to win. Farry gets the best start. Murcott to second. Dennis Jones goes by lines for third. Robbie Farr set quick time, chose to start at a 2. Got the start. Oh, Peter Milnes a little crossed up in turn number 4. Almost at the tail of the field. There's only Cunningham behind him as Robbie Farr paces the field. 2 down, 10 to run. Murcott in hot pursuit. Dennis Jones in third. What a superb result. Lindsay in 4th. Jack Lee, Nick Lacey, Chris Lacey, Quinton Tanner, Peter Milnes, Cunningham, and then your race leader. Oh, Murcott! Hooked up on the tail tank was the 83 of Murcott. Traffic right ahead of your leader, Cunningham. In front of Farr, allows Murcott to close. Farry needs to make a decisive move, and he does. Oh, Murcott shoots through at the bottom! We've got ourselves a new race leader! The main line, Q83 of David Murcott's your new leader. Drove by Farr when he got hooked up with Cunningham. Halfway home, there's 6 to run. Oh boy! Traffic playing a factor in this one. Murcott now with half the straightaway over. Robbie Farr, lines in third. 4th is Dennis Jones, Jack Lee in 5th. Count 'em, folks, there's 5 to run. Now 4 as he's crossed the main straight. He's approaching Peter Milnes. Maybe it's Farry's only chance to repay the favour, this time with 3 to run. David Murcott trying to outrun Robbie Farr. There's 2 to go. Murcott will get the white flag. 1-2 run in the Sprintcar Jackpot Invitational, and David Murcott has done the unthinkable. Robbie Farr desperately trying to chase him through turn 4, but David Murcott wins. Farr in second, lines in third. Dennis Jones crosses the line in 4th, Jack Lee in 5th. From Nick Lacey, Chris Lacey. In the way and maybe thought this is my only chance, and boy, you couldn't have scripted it any better.
No, for me not. For Robbie, not so good, unfortunately for him. But you know, yeah, that's as soon as we got caught the lap car, I thought, well, this is probably my only shot. Hopefully, he hesitates and you know, leaves a bit of room somewhere. And unfortunately, got hooked up with him, and you know, we finally got this race in twice in 4 years, and it's, you know, well done to the Drew family, and you know, they stuck at it. The track after being resurfaced is pretty good. It's very sticky, and probably not making good for a lot of passing at the moment, but you know, it was a good start for you know, for our team, and good start for the new Eagles too. It seems pretty nice.
I thought Farry made a decisive choice there of outside. I thought that was the place to be, and it proved to be at the start as well. Were you a little disheartened when he put you on the pole?
Yeah, definitely. I thought I had the box seat on the outside there, and because I knew it was a little bit greasy on the bottom. You know, nobody's won a start on the bottom all night. So, but you know, like I said, sometimes you just got to be patient, and if things are going to go your way, they do.
unique format. You've got to get your head around it to start with and just be consistent without being brilliant and then lay down a number in that time trial. And you and Fari did that in difficult circumstances throughout the night.
Yeah, you know, well, like our starting positions weren't weren't stellar. We were middle of the pack, and we got caught up in our first one and it dropped right to the back. But hey, that's all you got to do. You just got to finish where you need to finish, and then try and get the car to roll around pretty good for a good time trial lap.
Mate, I look forward to seeing you on a number of occasions here before Christmas and maybe thereafter as well. Thank everyone that helps you down the road tonight on picking up 10K.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good bonus. Thanks, Dave and Lorraine Horrell, for giving me another shot this year. I really appreciate what they do for me. They give me first-class equipment. Mainline Dynalog dynamometers here again. Thanks, Andrew, for another year. Mansell's Car Carriers, Eagle Chassis, Scotty Inglis. Again, gives us another great motor. This one's even better than it was last year. So, we definitely can't complain about our package. Oval Express, Vortex, Warrnambool Locksmiths. Everybody that helps the team, I really appreciate it. Thanks, Sal and Ryan, for coming out in the cold and wet tonight. I'm sure Mum didn't really feel like bringing him out, but I'm really glad they were here.
Mate, awesome performance. Enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you through the rest of the year.
And thanks, Dave Sharman, for putting together a great car. He's done a great job. The thing looks absolutely sensational, and as usual, he's done a first-class job, and we've got a first-class team.
Well done.